I oftentimes tell people that your most important investment property is the first home that you buy and live in.
Exactly.
Right. So tell me about the process when you bought your first home. Tell me about what you learned from that process, good or bad. I think that, when did you buy your first home? You remember how old you were? What year? Was it the 80s, 70s? Was it before I was born?
It was, no, you was born.
I was born?
Yeah, you was like 2.
So it would have been 78.
78.
78. So 78, you bought your first house in Central Virginia, Fluvanna, right?
In Fluvanna, Troy.
So what was that process like?
Well, I lived in a trailer. Actually, my first property that I lived in, I lived in 2 trailers. I bought an old one, lived in it, and then later I traded that in, bought a new one. And then we decided that we wanted to own a structural built house, wood built house. And so we found this agent to show us houses. And the strangest thing is, it's amazing when my wife and I talk about it occasionally now. So this lady, we called, made random call, and said, hey, we want to buy a house, and she introduced herself and everything. And she took us to the black neighborhood in Crozet. The first property she took us to, and it wasn't not that it was just a black neighborhood, but none of the properties was kept up. So it was on the main street of Crozet. And so I looked at my wife, the lady was showing her, I said, no, I can't believe she's showing us this house. So, it wasn't like I kept my car dirty, So anyway, then we decided to file her, and we got Norma Kramer.
Wow.
And that's where we bought our first house, through Norma Kramer. Yeah. And another thing too, and the lesson I learned about my first house is sometimes stretch yourself a little bit. So this first house I bought, I think it was, we paid, I'm trying to remember, maybe $49,000 for it. And it was a house right across the street for $89,000. And my payment won't be $99 a month. And this other payment would have been $112, $120 a month. And I felt I couldn't afford it. And I bought this other house that was a smaller house, and I could have bought that house that was a bigger house with a basement. And I said myself, from now on in, I tell young people, I said, listen, don't mind stretching yourself a little bit. Don't just let a person tell you this is what you deserve. You decide what you deserve and where you want to go. So that was the first house I bought. And I sold that house. I stayed in the house for 8 years. And then we sold that house and moved to a house further down in Louisiana. And we stayed in that for 18 years.
Till I graduated.
Till you graduated?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember what your interest rate was on your first house you bought?
I don't.
What do you think it was? 1978.
I have no idea.
Let's guess. Let's look it up.
When you buy the property, it's even like buying cars. I ask guys all the time, I said, what's your interest rate on your car? Man, I don't know. Go look at it. He said, 18%. I said, you gotta be kidding me. So I'll be shocked.
All right, so if you bought your house in 1978, your interest rate was 10%.
10%. Isn't that something?
10%.
That's amazing.
And then when we bought our next, you bought the next property. I was going into 8th grade.
Yes.
8th grade. So that would have been, I would have been about, 8th grade, we like 13? 13, something like that. So I'd have been 13. So when you bought your second property,
I believe that was 6 or 8%, wasn't it?
Nah, it was higher than that.
It was
actually 12? No. You're right. So that would have been probably about 88. 11%.
11%.
Second property. 11%.
Wow. Well, we didn't pay 11% because our credit was good. So,
right.
So our credit was very good. So we got the low end of the scale, which is very, very good. So we stayed in our house for 18 years, and then